everybody, and welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Civil War, written and directed by Alex Garland, starring Mrs. Plemons herself, Kirsten Dunst, and also kind of starring Mr. Dunst himself, Jesse Plemons. Also Wagner Moura, Jefferson White, Kaylee Spaney, Stephen McKinley Henderson, and many others. Nick Offerman is also in there. This is, of course, about a futuristic, not so futuristic, possible
near future
movie about the United States and the Civil War. Everyone knows what it's about. And this is A24's highest budgeted film to date. And the first thing I ever saw about this, other than like a trailer, was this meme that was pointing out how the creator was not that much more money to make than Civil War, but the creator looked better. And I just gotta say, two completely different movies. You can't compare them.
It's pretty hard. One uses straight sci-fi.
One straight sci-fi with a lot of CGI. This one uses a lot of practical effects, and in my opinion, looks more realistic than the creator. So shut your mouth, you gabagools. But yeah, this is, I think, one of our most anticipated movies.
More you than
more me.
Sure.
Yes, because I love Alex Garland, especially when he uses the cast he likes, like Stephen McKinley Henderson and Kaylee Spaney and others. Carl Glusman is in there for a hot second, and so is the lady that plays the one robot that's not Alicia Vikander in Ex Machina. I forget her name. But yeah, where do we begin, Glenn? You had a quote that you would like to share with the class.
I don't know if I should share it so early, but
okay.
Maybe, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I'll do it. God damn it! I turned to Mike at the end of the movie and said, "I feel like they've been stroking me off this whole fucking movie, and then just wouldn't let me climax at the end."
And I don't know what that means, so he's gonna have to elaborate, but maybe later.
I'll elaborate that a little bit. It's called cuck.
I don't think it is. It's called edging.
It's called edging, but I mean, I really enjoyed most of the movie. Like I said, Mike was way more excited for it than I was. The whole idea, like, United States Civil War is just, I don't care for it too much, to be honest. So even though it's Alex Garland and he is amazing, I just kind of didn't really care, or was not that. I was interested, not that interested. But the more we got closer to seeing it, the more I was getting excited to see it. Yeah. So obviously we saw it. A lot of the shit about it was really good. I actually, thinking about it, I haven't seen too many movies where you're following a war photographer. So it was cool getting that perspective. And then it wasn't as military as I thought. It still had military like views, but like it wasn't as military as I thought it was going to be. So it was cool to be behind like the photographer more than it was actually, which side of the war it was going to be on. Yeah. Which is why I wasn't really excited about it. But now that I saw the movie and knew that it was more from the aspect of the war photographer, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So what I mean by the edging is it was really cool as far as getting to see a lot of the really great visuals, getting the view from the photographer and all that, and just all the stories that they were going along their way. And then the edging part is, I just felt disappointed with the end and how it just ended. Not only just ended, but also who ended, shall we say. But I'll wait for that part till later.
Yes. I think my biggest disappointment with this is that they kind of spoil the ending in the trailer. That is not something exclusive to this movie. That's just a new fad that I fucking hate. Stop spoiling things in trailers. Like, if your movie's good enough, people are going to want to go see it. It doesn't matter if they see the ending to, tickle their fancy. But, yeah, I would argue that I don't agree. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't agree. I understand why you were edged, so to speak. I was not. I climaxed.
I heard the zipper pop.
No, no. I was very satisfied with it. I thought it was a solid film. Yes, it kind of, leaves you in a certain way, but I think it worked for what it was trying to say. The film, that is. This is not the first film that I've seen that follows a journalist, maybe specifically a photographer, but
I wouldn't say it was the first for me. It's the first that I could really remember.
yeah, I two came up. It came to mind while I was watching a Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with Tina Fey, which is actually a pretty solid film, and then A Private War with Rosamund Pike. That's also a really good one.
I didn't see either of those.
Yeah, so the thing that, always, in movies like this, and war movies in general, the fact that people still need to be told if a side of a war is making it harder for journalists to do their job, they are on the wrong side. And any side that wants to control the journalists is not the correct side. If they are the correct side, they would not care what a journalist prints about them, because they are doing things as rightly as they believe they are, and they're not trying to hide anything, which is what free journalism's all about. But yeah, I thought this was a really solid movie. I loved how it, kind of went down and showed different sides of the war. There's the newly attacked New York City. There was the I almost said Outback. The wildness of like the Pennsyltucky, like the redneck part of Pennsylvania,
Pittsburgh's bits. And
yeah, Pittsburgh is not Pennsyltucky. I want to be very clear. As much as I don't like their sports teams, they are not Pennsyltucky. And then there's refugees in West Virginia, and then there's a whole town that's just ignoring the fact that the war is even happening, which would absolutely happen.
I believe that one was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember when that was, but you could be right. But yeah, I just thought this was a really compelling movie. All the characters are really great. The arcs that, Kaylee Spaney and Kirsten Dunst specifically go through were really compelling. And it's just, I don't know. I just had a really, I don't want to say fun time because it's a tragic movie, but I
visually, it was just super appeasing.
Yes, I was enthralled. Whenever things like turned to violence, they cut to silence in the photographs that they were taking, which was really powerful, because it's kind of like how, sitting at home, if you're not a soldier, that's how you see the war. You see it through photographs, and then filling in the blanks when with the rest of the battle. It was just really a really ingenious way to show it. And then, also holding on scenes once the characters left to show that, like, it got quiet again, and that the world doesn't give a shit about what humans do. I thought that was a really powerful choice to do as well. So
yes. I don't know what to say next, to be honest.
Yeah. Jesse Plemons, I think every time he's in a movie we talk about him. How do you think it works when him and Kirsten Dunst are cast in a movie? Is it like whoever's the main character, they're just like, hey, does your husband or wife want to be in this? Or what? Like Power of the Dog, it was Kirsten Dunst. And like, hey, maybe Jesse Plemons for this part.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we have this idea for somebody who's just a fucking maniac. Would your husband like to be a part of that?
Yeah, they've been in a few things together. I think it's mostly Jesse Plemons kind of filling in roles on her films.
Yeah.
If I can recall, like Power of the Dog and this.
They had a scene together, but they didn't interact with each other too much. I don't even think they had lines together. It was more just Kirsten Dunst saying something to Jesse.
Jesse Plemons is so cuddly and so terrifying at the same time. I absolutely love anytime he comes in. And we're not the first people to say this, but he really does steal the show anytime he's in a scene.
The best part is he's like, why is he so cuddly and terrifying? And then, boom, just shoots somebody.
Shoots someone completely unarmed
immediately
person.
Right after he said that.
And I just love anytime he's in a scene, and the scene that he's in, which is featured heavily in the trailer, did not disappoint. It's much. I don't want to say much deeper than what it is in the trailer, but like it's more terrifying than it is in the trailer. But that's another thing that Alex Garland does great in this, is that he really like heightens the tension in these scenes, and the battle scene in Washington D.C. was just absolutely enthralling. For the most part, physical or practical effects, and seeing these monuments that if you're a U.S. citizen you grew up seeing or visiting and whatever have you, being part of this battleground, because pretty much since the Civil War, with the exception of Pearl Harbor, there hasn't really been, and 9/11, of course,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a physical battle. That was a terrorist attack, though. There hasn't been an actual battle on U.S. soil in a very long time.
It's scary to think of moments that it probably could happen.
Yeah,
In the near
and I
future.
think that would make a lot of people think about, these countries that are at war, what their citizens must be feeling, because that's, it's easy to kind of compartmentalize it when it's not on your, in an area you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see, the Lincoln Memorial getting bombed, you're like, oh,
Oh, look at that.
yeah, this happens.
Oh, that's hitting home.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought it was just a really powerful film. I don't know if I have too much else to say about it, but it's, it met my expectations.
It exceeded mine, but mainly because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't too crazy about coming to see it until we were coming to see it.
Yeah. And it edged you real good.
And, oh god, it edged me. Got to finish that off later.
Before that happens, should we get into ratings?
Of course.
Oh man, I don't know.
I'll go for it.
Okay, go.
3.5.
3.5. Ooh, I'm between a 4 and a 5. So since I'm between that, I think I might say 4.5.
That is a pretty good middle
yeah.
ground.
Because I really did enjoy it, and I've been trying to not just. Up until last year, I was just giving 5s to everything that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to do that as much. Not that I, feel shame in it, but
Not
it kind
that
of
you have to not.
it cheapens the 5s I do give out. So yeah, I'm gonna say 4.5.
Oh, there we
But
go.
yeah,
baby.
really solid. So yes, if you saw Civil War, tell us what you thought down in the comments below. The morality of a photojournalist and not stepping in to help people. That's their job, but also they don't necessarily talk about that. Discuss that down below. Keep it Civil War.
Here's a different discussion. Would you cuddle Jesse Plemons? I would.
I would, but I'd be terrified the entire time.
How is that profitable for Tostitos? Or Frito-Lay, that's what it was. How is that profitable
night,
Frito-Lay?
God, he's so great.
He's so cuddly.
Goodbye, Mr. Dunst.
Bye-bye, Mrs. Plemons.